Before this war even began, the U.S. military already knew what Iran would do. America's top general warned the president Iran would mine the Strait of Hormuz, launch drones and fire missiles across the region. But the assumption in Washington was simple. Iran would surrender before any of that happened. 2 weeks later, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. 300 ships are stranded and Iranian missiles are now hitting Israeli cities. The real story of this war isn't just the attacks, it's the strategy behind them. Before the first missiles were launched and before the confrontation between United States and Iran escalated into open conflict, military planners had already outlined how Throne was likely to respond. Inside classified briefings in Washington, intelligence analysts and senior officers presented a series of scenarios describing Iran's potential strategy. Among those delivering these assessments was Dan Caney, who reportedly warned that Iran possessed multiple ways to retaliate if its territory came under direct attack. According to these briefings, Thrawn would likely focus on asymmetric responses rather than conventional battlefield engagements. One predicted move involved disrupting maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. Military planners expected Iran could deploy naval mines or small attack craft capable of threatening commercial shipping. Other projections warned of missile strikes and drone attacks targeting regional bases and allied infrastructure. These possibilities had already been examined in previous war games and strategic simulations. On paper, the scenarios suggested that any conflict could expand quickly across the region. Yet the political expectations surrounding the operation were different. Some decision-makers believed Iran's leadership would collapse under pressure or seek negotiations before fully implementing its retaliation plans. That assumption would soon prove to be one of the most consequential strategic miscalculations at the start of the war. As the confrontation unfolded, some analysts began describing Iran's response not as a single wave of retaliation, but as a structured, multi-stage strategy. The first phase appeared to focus on Israel's early warning infrastructure. Radar installations and sensor networks responsible for detecting incoming threats are among the most critical components of any missile defense architecture. Without reliable detection, interception systems cannot calculate trajectories or launch defensive missiles in time. According to several assessments, Iranian strikes in the early stages of the conflict may have been directed toward degrading these capabilities. Facilities connected to Israel's surveillance and intelligence network, including systems associated with the Israel Defense Forces, were reportedly among the suspected targets. By disrupting or degrading early warning coverage, attackers can reduce the reaction time available to defenders. The second phase appeared to focus on exhausting the defensive shield itself. Israel's layered air defense network includes systems such as Iron Dome and Arrow designed to intercept incoming rockets and ballistic missiles at different altitudes. Continuous missile launches forced these systems to remain active for extended periods. Each alert triggered radar tracking, interceptor launches, and rapid operational decisions. Over time, this constant defensive posture constrained both equipment and personnel. In strategic terms, the objective of such pressure is not always immediate destruction. Sometimes it is preparation, shaping the battlefield before the next phase of attacks begins. After days of sustained pressure on Israel's defensive network, analysts began noticing a new phase in the attack pattern. Once early warning coverage had been challenged and interceptor systems kept active for extended periods, Iranian forces appeared to introduce a different type of weapon into the battlefield: ballistic missiles carrying cluster payloads. Unlike conventional missiles that deliver a single explosive warhead, these weapons release multiple submunitions during the final phase of flight. As the missile descends toward its target area, the payload separates and disperses dozens of smaller bomblets across a wide radius. Each submunition then falls independently toward the ground. For defensive systems operated by the Israel Defense Forces, this type of attack creates a dramatically more complex problem. Missile interception systems such as Iron Dome are typically designed to track and destroy individual incoming projectiles before they reach populated areas. But once a cluster payload separates, the situation changes rapidly. Instead of intercepting one target, defenders may suddenly face dozens of smaller objects descending simultaneously across a wide area. Many of these bomblets follow unpredictable trajectories and are too small to track individually within the available response time.